People aren't reading books. The solution? A lot easier than you think. When it comes to people, especially modern age average adults, there's a lot of people that simply don't read. This is a large demographic we've seen in the past decade, but it's something to keep in mind, especially now. In 2025, with the rise of AI, social media, and a lot of weird stuff going on with our world, reading books is often castrated to the side, mostly for the nerds and for the middle-aged white woman. Now that sounds kind of hypocritical and mean, but in the case of this video, there is a solution that I want to explain. And as an avid reader, it's something that truly makes me proud of to think that there's a solution to books. And there's a reason why we read books, especially now, even with AI and the information we gather. Talk to me on how fiction works, because I'm telling you, once you're done with this video, you will absolutely not only be reading, but also writing more. If you don't know me, I'm Arnel Arcega. I am one of the healthiest writers you could possibly meet. As an author, writer, and motivator, I make sure people stay on this path of reading and writing, and I use it as a business to grow my own finance and incomings. As a 16-year-old, I appreciate all the support I get, and if you want to see what I can do, I can personally help you out with your reading or writing projects down the Instagram down below. Along with my other books, you can check this out all after this video. For now, let's get into the process of reading and why books matter. Going in history, books are one of the greatest pieces of information we learn. If you've watched any movie before the 2010s, you see characters going to libraries to study books. They study the information gathered in books so they can take in that information and use it. This is effective because a lot of authors are very nuanced and crafty in the careers they write. Even in fiction books, sometimes the most delicate and informational pieces of writing come from authors who write fictional stories. Likewise, a lot of books are stemmed off of that foundation. Some of the best scientists, some of the best doctors, and some of the best chefs make their own books. And in that case of writing, we use that information to learn. That's why libraries were so prevalent, even going back to the 50s, the 60s, and even the 70s. Books have been this cultural, impactful thing that still works in the modern age. But as our decades continue to pass, and as years go by, we see a huge development in time. Social media, one thing, has completely taken over. Going back to 2015, it wasn't as prevalent, but it was huge. Same case can apply to AI, which started decently well in the early 2020s, but gradually grew to the huge circumstantial system we have now. And with the rise of AI in particular, books itself aren't taken as seriously when considering a book like How Fiction Works, written all the way back in the late 2000s. Now, in the case of writing and how impactful it is to an audience, the purpose of books isn't just for information, but it's also for gaining insights, which is why fiction books are so entertaining. One of my personal favorites I've read this year is The Stone Monkey by Jeffrey Deaver. It's a fantastic read that taught me a lot about books and how impactful words can be in the form of storytelling. Storytelling is very important, especially in the case of just wanting to know people. You want to have stories to tell and information that's required, which is the reason why I still read books to this day. One of my favorite videos comes from the author who wrote How to Not Give an F About Anything, and it's an effective video that saw the rise of AI. I can't exactly pinpoint what video it was, but when considering the modern age, there's a lot of limitations with books. Books itself are fantastic and an excellent medium in the self-improvement journey that a lot of gurus talk about. It's a great source of information, but in my case of someone trying to get people to bridge the path of reading and more specifically writing, which I'll get to later, books are effective in what they want to tell. And with several pieces like online PDFs and like so many files, we see that you could just search in the tap of your fingers. A lot of books are really easy to work, especially in the modern age. But once again, those limitations come far and few between. You have some fantastic elements in how books anywhere in the world can be bought, read, and purchased. At the same time, with the stuff like social media and AI, it makes it harder to read books. So what's the solution? We can see that no matter what kind of age demographic there is, these limitations keep on affecting everyone. Even if books are easier nowadays to get than ever before, the struggle with books is still real. And it's a damn shame because I love books. I think it's a fantastic centerpiece that makes things so effective. So what do? The solution? This is one I thought about long and hard, especially in the past several years of writing my own stories. Ones that I personally just want to sell, but it's one that makes me effective and nuanced. One of the most notable things about our modern age is that a lot of people have this use and deflection against AI. It's a large detractor and it's just producing that same information that people use. And with books, our own voices are what's told in the stories. In the case of self-improvement and writing, many people like myself, suggest that you write in an effective manner that allows people to gain the information yourself. So in the case of wanting more people to read, the solution to books is to write more books. Now, this sounds counterintuitive, I know, but especially with an age in which any book can sell, sort of like music, movies, and even these YouTube videos, these can prosper in fantastic ways. Ebooks are real. Physical books are still the game, and you can still use whatever kind of storytelling pieces coming from someone who's either written a story or tried writing a story before, and hell, even the people who've never written a story. Writing more books to target a specific audience will actively let more people read simply because of the fact that we need a sense of interest. Books, as we've explained earlier, are a use of information that's required, and thousands of books exist in the world of gaining that craft. I honestly argue a lot of the books we can read give out more information than a lot of your own teachers in school. It's a hot take, but I truly agree with this, knowing just the sheer information found and the passion that many authors deliver on. And in the case of wanting more books, wanting more original stories like in movies, wanting more out of an idea, all we have to do is write more books. This is the biggest key for more people to read. Books aren't cascaded because they're harder to do. They are easier nowadays more than ever before in history. Back then, we had typewriters. Back then, there was so much information that it was too loose to be spread. Nowadays, with how easily accessible books are, how you can click on this YouTube channel and view this video you're watching now, I'm telling you, this is a fantastic metric to books itself and the fact that people can read everywhere and anywhere. More books targeting the kind of people that usually don't even read in the first place will guarantee successful books no matter where you go. And the easiest way to do this, to simply put, is just to start writing. Start writing a specific idea that you know a specific audience will want to target. Start targeting specific agendas that will work effectively with stories. This is the right path of sorts. The right, correct path, in my humble opinion, as the author I am, is to simply make more books that can cultivate an audience of readers. I know people use social media, and that's an effective way to start. You can check out my second channel if you want to see how to use social media effectively and spread your personal business or brand. In the case of books, books can fall into that similar category, and the right path of getting people to read is fantastic. The benefits of reading are there. There's patience, there's wisdom. You gain a lot more insights, and you feel a lot more intellectual. Even if nobody calls you a nerd, who gives a damn about them? Who gives a shit? You know? It's just understanding what works and what doesn't. And that's truly the most beautiful thing about writing. Once you understand how far you can come along with books, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful craft that I'm firmly passionate about. I'm only 16, but it's a wonderful experience to go and see someone like me read a book of yourself. It could be just a specific idea, but understand what the world needs now. What do you, in your humble opinion, your own intuition, your passion, what do you believe the world needs right now? Once you get through with that, that will not only counter all the AI and social media, but it will get people like me and like you, possibly yourself, on this right path. You'll never leave it, and it will be fantastic in the long run. If you enjoyed this video, you could check out my other one so I can personally help you write that story of yours. Writing more books is effective in just getting to the means of a reader. And it's a beautiful, long, winding process. So you can check out my stuff down below to see what I mean. If you want to see just the experience I made from my first book, it's down there, along with my second book. And with my other social in mind, keep on reading, keep on writing. Take care.